What has worried you this past week or kept you preoccupied? Maybe for the students here, it's simply that they can feel a bit overwhelmed by classes already. Maybe some of us are worried about money, keeping up with inflation. How are we ever going to pay all those student loans that we might have? Maybe we're feeling lonely. Some of the students, even though they've been here for 2 weeks, might be lonely because they haven't met anyone yet. Or maybe for others in the different circumstances, maybe we've lost a member of our family, spouse. Every morning I sit in the chapel of my priory where I live, and you might be surprised at the things that flood my thinking while I'm sitting there. We're going to raise all the money that we need to do everything we want to do. What am I going to say in my homily? Or then the really important stuff like, will the White Sox be able to still win the pennant without Tony La Russa? Did I hear a wisecrack back there? Oh, yeah, well, I am praying, you know. In the past week, maybe we've measured our happiness by these things that worry us. Our classes, how our team looks, how we look, how other people look at us, what people think of us. We get a good grade on a test, then we're happy. Our boss gives us a compliment, we're happy. Someone says we look good, we're happy. I cook a good meal, I'm happy. I eat a good meal, I'm happy. I preach a good homily, I'm happy. But then the danger, of course, is what happens when these things don't go our way. Well, what if we looked at ourselves through a different lens? What if we tried to measure our lives against what Jesus intends for each of us? Now, Jesus gives us some very specific instructions today about discipleship. But this is a gospel reading that is very easy to misinterpret. Let's begin by saying what it doesn't say. It's not telling us to hate anyone. That would be totally inconsistent with Jesus' message of love. Time and again, Jesus uses hyperbole, exaggeration, to get our attention. And to any engineers in the congregation today, he's not talking about you either. He's talking about the art of other things. How we build other things in our lives. What it is saying to us, or at least should, is that we need to put God in our lives above everything else. And that if we can plan or call ourselves disciples of Jesus Christ, then we had better know the cost, what it means to be a disciple before we set out to become disciples. And it's going to involve carrying our cross, making sacrifices. It means consciously and willingly committing ourselves to Christ. It means accepting the sacrifice and the risk of ridicule that can come with saying that we follow the way of Jesus Christ. Carrying our cross is not just a way of life, it is a total commitment to being the face of Christ to the people that we meet every day. Towards the end of Mass, you're going to hear about a way that we can honor that commitment by becoming a member of a core community here at the Catholic Student Center. Whether we're a student or a member of our community, our core communities can help us in grow in our relationship with Jesus Christ and with one another. What a great thing to be able to do. And there is one more way that Jesus suggests in today's gospel to become true disciples. And that is forsaking possessions. It's not that possessions are evil or bad. They are not. The point is that getting them, keeping them, caring for them can take time that is all out of proportion to what they deserve. Sometimes our possessions, our computers, our cell phones, our houses, our cars, our careers, end up owning us. There's very little room for anything else in the life of a disciple. Our energy, our commitment must be directed towards Jesus and Jesus' mission. And what this all means is that if we put Jesus first above all things, we're going to be a true disciple. And that means we're going to be a person who loves like Christ. And if we love like Christ, we are going to be a better mother, father, sister, brother, son, daughter, student, friend, the whole thing. That's the great paradox, my brothers and sisters. Placing God at the center of our lives doesn't mean our relationships with people in our lives are somehow diminished, that they're going to suffer. No, they become better. So we worry about things that happen. That's natural. And yet we need to keep God at the center of our lives. And when we can do that, well, then that there's nothing that will keep us from the happiness that God desires for each one of us.